So let's start by settling the body, adopting a stable, comfortable, upright position serviceable for meditation. So think about keeping our feet flat and our back straight. Torso open, hands in the lap, right over left with the palms upturned and the thumbs gently touching. Our eyes are gently closed or slightly open, making sure we let in enough light to remain alert. We try to maintain an awareness of not slouching, not leaning, but we also let go of any unnecessary tension or rigidity in the body, relaxing into a stable, comfortable, upright position, just allowing the body to fall into place. And begin to let go of attending to the environment, allowing sights and sounds to be as they are without investigation, constraining your awareness just to the body and mind. Beginning to concentrate that awareness in the present by attending closely to the physical sensation of the air that accompanies the in-breath and the out-breath and the space around the opening of the nostrils. Giving yourself the instruction to notice quickly when anything other than that one physical sensation is arising in the mind, and without judgment or frustration to lift your awareness up from those distractions and place it gently but firmly again and again on the breath. And then when the mind feels more calm, we generate a broad, altruistic motivation for our time, taking a moment to intentionally widen our circle of concern, trying to embrace countless sentient beings within the field of our practice. Recognizing that just like oneself, every other sentient being deeply wishes to be happy, deeply wishes to be free of even the slightest negativity. And yet, just like oneself, every sentient being meets with obstacles, difficulties, painful conditions again and again without choice. And every other sentient being places themselves in the center of their story, just like I do. And their pains, their difficulties are just as sharp as one's own. And there are no sentient beings that have a claim to accomplishing their wishes, their goals, that's greater than any other. Every sentient being is exactly the same in wanting only happiness, wanting to be free of even the slightest suffering. And every sentient being is exactly the same in the degree to which they deserve to accomplish their aims. And so to work for the benefit of every sentient being without exception is the most beneficial way of spending one's life. And I think in order to be successful in that, it depends on my own inner transformation, my ability to become deeply familiar with beneficial states of mind, to reduce and ultimately eliminate the influence of destructive states of mind. So engaging in that process in order to be of benefit is the purpose of my time. And with that motivation, we'll begin contemplating today the four immeasurable thoughts. So the first is immeasurable equanimity. The contemplation on an immeasurable equanimity begins with the wish or the aspiration. How wonderful it would be if all sentient beings were to abide in equanimity, free from the discriminating thoughts of anger and attachment that hold some close and others distant. How wonderful it would be if all sentient beings were to abide in equanimity, free from the discriminating thoughts of anger and attachment that hold some close and others distant. So we can begin by reflecting in our own lives on the role of anger and attachment. Seeing how this comes down to a self-centered mind, the mind that cares only about one's own interests, even at the expense of others, who sees everything through the lens of the ego. To think of the disadvantages that you've noticed in your own relationships when these minds of anger and attachment arise, thinking that this group is worthy of love and compassion, generosity, my patience, my ethics, my loving kindness, because they've benefited me. And this other group is not, because they have not, or I feel that they have not due to the self-centered mind. Give the pain in the heart that arises in this way of relating to others. And reflect about the suffering in the world that arises due to these minds, one person against another, one group against another, the divisions, the animosity, the tribalism. It seems so prevalent in the world, and all of the suffering that it causes. And think of all of this suffering as a kind of pollution, understanding its cause to be that self centered mind, the mind that thinks that oneself is the most important, that one's wishes, one's interests, one's desires are all that matter. How that constructs an ego identity that we must protect. And we and all other ordinary sentient beings are protecting it by drawing close to what's comfortable, what's pleasant, through the minds of attachment, and trying to separate ourselves from what seems difficult, painful, with the mind of anger. To think about offering that pollution to one's own self-centered thought, absorbing it into the mind of self-cherishing, self-grasping. Visualizing that mind like a dark seat at the heart, and visualizing all of the suffering that it causes being absorbed back into it, being offered to the self-centered mind. And try to give rise to some sense of the actual illusion-like nature of that self-centered mind. It's in substantiability. Thinking, what is it that is really being protected? Where is the ego identity to be truly found? Try to see if you can give rise to a sense of this arrow of suffering not actually finding a target, Just passing through. And contemplate the rest of this first verse. May they abide in equanimity. I myself will cause them to abide in equanimity. Please, Guru Buddha, bless me to be able to do so. So take responsibility now for training the mind in equanimity and for helping, leading all sentient beings to develop the realization of equanimity as well. And then when you're ready, we'll come back together. And we'll dedicate. So recollect your altruistic motivation and think that by having engaged in this contemplation, you've actualized that motivation, which has generated positive energy in the mind. And think that you freely offer the fruit of your practice, that positive energy for the benefit of all sentient beings without exception. Thinking strongly when that positive energy ripens, may it serve as a cause and condition to eliminate war and conflict, poverty, famine, disease, disasters, all painful inner and outer conditions. May it fully ripen the minds of all sentient beings. May they quickly meet perfect teachers and arise in the state of full enlightenment. May I too achieve this state of enlightenment in order to work for the benefit of sentient beings perfectly. May any obstacles facing the Guru's long life be completely dispelled. And may I and all sentient beings in this moment come under the joyful care and guidance of enlightened beings. May we be guided and protected until we swiftly achieve that state of enlightenment. Thank you.